I worked the late shift at a convenience store on the edge of the city. It's the kind of place where the lights always flicker and the security cameras lag just enough to make you nervous. Every single night at exactly 12:47 a.m., I hear it, a distant metallic screech. It's not loud, not even close, but it's there. The sound of train tracks groaning under some impossible weight. My coworker Lena once joked, "That's the ghost train." I laughed, but she didn't. She just looked at me with this dead serious expression and said, "People who ride it, they don't come back." And just like that, I stopped laughing. What if she's right? What if there's a train out there that only runs at night, collecting passengers who will never be seen again? Stay tuned for part 2 to find out what happens next. The power went out with a sudden, final click. One moment, Marcus was restocking shelves under the humming fluorescent lights. The next, he was plunged into a thick, inky blackness. Only the weak glow of his phone screen pushed back the dark. The air in the store changed instantly, growing heavy and damp, like he was trying to breathe through a wet towel. That's when he heard the familiar rumble of a train, but it wasn't distant anymore. It sounded like it was right outside the door. Then a voice, cold and raspy, echoed through the silence, not from any speaker, but from the air itself. Last stop for the living. The automatic doors slid open with a soft hiss, revealing not the familiar parking lot, but an old, rusted, rain-slicked platform. And there it was, a dark, ancient train waiting silently in the night. The train was wrong. That was the first thing Marcus noticed. Its windows were just dark voids, not reflecting the station lights at all. They were like gaping mouths, just swallowing the light. And the metal of the carriages, it looked wrong too. It wasn't bolted or welded together. It looked stretched, like it had grown into that shape instead of being built. Standing beside an open door was a conductor, but he had no face. Just a smooth, pale mask of skin pulled tight over where his features should have been. A skull-shaped. A voice, somehow, came from it. "Ticket?" it asked. Marcus was frozen, unable to speak. The faceless head tilted, a horribly human gesture. "You're already late," it said, its voice echoing in the sudden silence of the platform. Marcus knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that this train wasn't going anywhere he wanted to go. Marcus tried to run. He thought if he could just get away from the platform, back to the city, everything would be fine. But the moment he turned, the world behind him dissolved into a thick, swirling fog. The corner store where he just bought a coffee, gone. The entire sprawling city vanished. All that remained was the cold, stone platform. And the train, silent and waiting. Then they began to appear. Passengers stepping out from the shadows, their forms materializing from the mist. And Marcus recognized them. A regular customer from his shop, the quiet couple from down the street. Even that man who'd gone missing last year, his face plastered on news reports for weeks. They all looked so tired, a deep, hollow exhaustion in their eyes that no amount of sleep could ever fix. It was a bone-deep emptiness, and they were all walking towards the train. A woman with no eyes grabbed Marcus's wrist. Her touch was cold, surprisingly strong. "Don't fight it," she whispered, her voice like rustling leaves. "It hurts more if you fight." Panic seized him. Marcus tried to pull away, his heart hammering against his ribs. "What is this place?" he shouted, his voice echoing in the strange, dim space. Around them, indistinct figures stood silently, waiting. The woman's grip didn't loosen. "The after," she said calmly. "Not heaven, not hell. Just after." Suddenly, a new figure stepped closer, tall and impossibly thin. The conductor, its voice was a low hum, a sound that vibrated deep in Marcus's bones. "Everyone rides eventually," it said, its gaze passing right through him. Some just bored early, a long skeletal hand extended, beckoning him forward. The journey was about to begin. Inside the train, every seat was taken. People sat perfectly still, like statues in a gallery of sorrow and strange joy. Some were crying, tears tracing silent paths down their faces. Others wore eerie smiles, their eyes fixed on nothing. A few screamed without a sound, mouths wide open in a horrifying, silent agony. Then, the doors hissed shut, sealing the carriage. The train began to move, but with an unnatural smoothness, no shaking, no rattling, just a silent glide forward. Outside the windows, the world wasn't what it should be. Marcus saw moments, not places, flashing by in a sickening montage. Mangled car crashes, sterile hospital rooms, dark bedrooms where people simply stopped breathing in their sleep. It was a procession of endings. Deaths, thousands upon thousands of them, flickering past like a film reel from hell. He was on a train carrying the departed, a spectator to their final moments. Marcus finally understood, but it was far too late. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the track wasn't the sound of a journey. It was the sound of a harvest. This train wasn't taking people somewhere, it was collecting them. It seemed to feed on endings, running on the fuel of final moments. A man sitting across from him, with eyes that had seen too much, leaned forward, his voice a low whisper. "You don't die when you're bored," he said, a grim certainty in his tone. "You die when you arrive." Marcus felt a cold dread creep up his spine. "Where are we going?" he asked, his own voice barely audible. The man let out a weak, hollow laugh, the sound swallowed by the train's relentless chugging. "Home," he replied, and the word hung in the air, filled with a terrible, final meaning. The train slowed to a crawl, the squeal of the brakes echoing through the silent carriage. A voice, calm and steady, crackled over the intercom, announcing the final stop. With a soft hiss, the doors slid open, revealing not a station, but a darkness so absolute it felt solid. I could see things moving in that void, huge, patient shapes, and I just knew they were hungry. "This is where we get off," the conductor said gently, his voice right behind me. All around, people started to stand up, shuffling towards the open doors like sleepwalkers marching to their doom. I couldn't move, my heart hammered against my ribs. "I'm not dead," I screamed, the words tearing from my throat. The conductor knelt beside my seat. His face was a blur, but his voice was chillingly clear. "Not yet," it said, "but you will be." Marcus woke up with a gasp, the cold, gritty floor of the convenience store pressing against his cheek. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, a relentless, artificial buzz. Through the dusty front windows, the first rays of the morning sun crept in, painting stripes of light across the messy aisles. A hand was on his shoulder, shaking him. It was Lena, her face a mixture of fear and concern. "You passed out," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "An ambulance is coming." And then something inside Marcus broke. He started laughing, a wild, unhinged sound that quickly turned into sobs. His whole body shook with a strange mix of relief and terror. Because in that moment, as Lena's face swam before him, he knew it was just a dream. It had all been just a dream. And the realization was both a lifeline and a punch to the gut. What if next time he didn't wake up? Thanks for watching. That night, Marcus heard the train again. It was the third night in a row, but this time was different. It sounded closer, much closer, and it was earlier than before. He glanced at his clock, the red digits glowing in the dark, 12:12 a.m. As the rumble of the wheels grew louder, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. He picked it up, an unknown number. The message was short, chilling. Your ticket has been validated. A cold dread washed over him. He pulled back the curtains and looked outside. Where his lawn should have been, there was now a misty, spectral platform. The train was pulling into the station, steam hissing from its engine. And this time, standing at the door of a carriage, the conductor was there. He was looking right at Marcus, and he was smiling. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more strange tales.